start. Sorry, without the mic and the Zoom meeting's not set up yet. Okay, so the TA just replied on the way. Okay, so I think it should be okay. Okay, just to let you know that in the next lectures, we're going to have the practice sections. So practice whatever you have learned so far. And I think the most important thing is today's lectures, okay, we're going to practice for each loop. And this is one of the most important looping mechanisms in VBA. And you should be using for each loop whenever possible. So even though you probably, last time we have learned do loop, okay, so even though you have implemented the logic so with the do loop, okay, you probably need to figure out whether you can use for each loop for the implementations. The reason is very simple: efficiency. Okay, it's more efficient, and so that's why would like to recommend you guys to use that one. Okay, so that's why today's lecture will go through the examples, illustrates how to use it for each loop, how to construct it for each loop, and through the process you will learn some other syntax. Okay, I think they are very useful, and they are useful because you'll be using them all the time. Okay, and so do we need to remember them? Okay, so once you have used it for several times, then you probably know how to do it, and so that's why we like to. Okay, so that's why I would like to emphasize on that one. And according to the schedules, okay, that's supposed to cover the looping mechanisms, and so that's why I'm going to cover the looping mechanism together with another one, okay, another illustrations that I just put it up. And this is about Excel formula together with VBA. Okay, this is the good combinations, and so how can we make use of the built-in Excel functions formula? Yeah, together with the VBA. Okay, I think you will see more and more examples in this course. Okay, later, and then you get to know how to combine them. Okay, for presenting the logic and implementing the applications. Okay, so this is my plan for today. So let me begin with the for each loop. And last time I spent a little bit of time to go through the examples and so on. And so that's why I would like to go into the major part of the illustrations. And last time we tried this one already, and we will come back to this one and revisit this one. Okay, and so we come back to this one. But first of all, I would like to go through. The for each loop syntax. Okay, so this is the for each loop syntax. And I would like to know how to construct this one now. Okay, so as usual, I put the windows in this layout, and you get to know where we get the documents from. Okay, so first of all, start a new Excel file. Okay, start a new Excel file, and we can probably put down some values there. And now we're going to write a program. Okay, so as usual, we go to developer, insert, VB editor, insert modules. I probably put it here. Okay. So now I'm going to implement it for each loop. Okay, create macro first. And this is just for testing. Okay, so let me give more meaningful name for the macro. Okay, so we implement do loop for each loop, if then else, all these kind of things. Okay, I usually put down the template. Okay, the template meaning the keywords that we need to use to begin with. Okay, so this is the for each loop syntax. Okay, the keywords that you need to use. I put two underlines here. Okay, so the second one, I would like to start from the second one. Okay, second one is a collection objects. Okay, so later on you probably learn other collection object, but with this example, and probably most of the time, you'll be using range object as a collection objects. So what is collection object? If you look at the left-hand side here, a collections of objects like this. Okay, we have the range object to represent all this, but at the same time we can extract them one by one. Okay, so this is a collections of range objects. So that fulfill the requirements for each loop implementation. So we could put down range objects here. Okay. And sometimes ago I present the table, right, how to create the range objects, and you can use that column, okay, whatever you have learned. We can use range keywords, we can use the square bracket, we can use cells, okay, so whatever you can think of, okay, create a range object and put it here. And perhaps I would like to try this one, okay, I would like to use the range keywords, B3 to B7, B3 to B7. Okay? So the purpose for each loop is, once you have provided a set of objects, the for each loop will extract them one by one. So in other words, so the one of the range object will be extract and put it to this, put here. Okay, so this I call it items, objects. Well, a name, okay, that you're not going to use ABC, that kind of simple names, okay, use something more meaningful. That's what we consider as a meaningful names, okay. So we extract the items objects. We extract, in this case, the item object is just a name. You can consider this is a variables. A variable is going to store objects, okay. And so that's why when we create the object variables, okay, make sure you specify the data type. And so what data type that we should use? Well, in this case, you have no choice. Okay, you have no choice because the collection object, it has a range object. We're going to extract one object at a time, and those objects are range objects. So you have no choice. This one has to be range. So later on, when you learn other collection objects, okay, so it depends. Okay, so for example, I would like to have a collection of the worksheets objects. We extract them one by one, and the variables data types should be worksheets. Okay, so that's why it depends on the collection objects data type. Okay, object type. Okay, then we can actually specify the data types. Okay. So once you have extracted the objects, okay, so now I have just extracted B3. So what you want to do with B3? B3 is a range object. In other words, I can put values there. Because this is a range object, as you can tell, after entering dot, you see a list of possible property and method that you can use. Okay, so what you want to do with the values, okay, I probably would like to try display it. Okay, debug plane, of course, for debugging purpose. And when you do this, the output will go to the images windows. Okay, make sure you know where to find the images window. In some cases, you may not see it. Turn it on. Even if you turn it on, okay, sometimes it may be closing to the edges here, and then you may not be able to see it. So you have to adjust the windows in order to see the results generated by your program. So that's it. This is for each loop already. A simple demonstrations of the for each loop. Then you can run it, and we get all these results. As you can see, we start from the first one, next one, and so on until the last one. Okay. Would that make any difference? Okay, let me delete the output. Would that make any difference if I put the B3 to B7, or maybe in a reverse order? Okay. I think this one's still a range object, a valid range object expressions, but I think I want to know the operation. Would that be showing me giving me 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, or other value. No, okay, it's the same as before. Okay, it's same as before. Okay, so that's why you need to know how to read the expressions. Okay, what to predict what is the expected output. In exam, as I said many times already, okay, in exam you're not going to use computer, and we're going to give you programs like this, okay, then you're going to predict the output, okay, even we reverse the order, and you know that it will not be, the output will not be reversed, okay, it will be from B3 until B7. And how about A1? Okay, so where is A1? A1 is here. Okay, so if I do this now, clean up the images windows by selecting it and also delete. Oh, it has some additional okay. Oh, is something wrong? Okay, what's wrong? Why this is the output? Anyone knows? Oh, 6 is here. Oh, I think the first question is, what is this? Well, that's difficult to answer. Okay. Let me put it this way. If you can answer this question, probably you know how to answer, explained, okay, what happened just now. Okay, so I just rewrite the expressions, okay, just changing the range objects and then run the program. Hey, how come? Okay, why we got the only, okay, let me show you. 6, empty, 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 empty. I don't know how many, okay, and then 1. Why is that? Any idea? Pardon? There are 2 columns, so let's try.
A1 cover B3 is like a selection of A1 from B3.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I think some students may confuse. Okay. So what is this? I think if you could answer this question, then you know the meaning, then why there's such output. Okay. It means this. Okay. It means this. Okay. Hey James, why didn't you use this one then? Everybody knows, if you present in this way, everybody knows, okay? Well, exam will be something tricky, okay? And something you expect, okay? To differentiate the students, okay? So, that's one of the reasons, actually. That's not the most important reasons. This is one of the reasons why James preferred this way, okay? Yeah, in fact, when we do for each loop, okay, sorry, for each loop, we actually prefer the first versions, the first way, okay, to express the range objects, okay. We'll explain to you why, okay. But now, at least now, you know that these 2 are the same. We just represent it in different ways, but the outcome is the same, okay. Keep that in mind, okay. So even though I present it this way, okay, you know, or you cover from A1 until A3. That's why the output is 6, empty, 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 1. 6, well, number of empties and 1. That's the expected output. Okay? So okay, I think this one just to refresh your memory. I remember I covered that earlier. Okay, anyway. So for each loop, simple, we just have a set of collections of objects, and then we extract them, extract the individual object one by one, and we use it. Okay, depends on how you use it. Okay, so I would like to calculate the total, for example, sum, that's double, okay, get the values from B3. Or in other words, okay, so now you know, okay, so if I want to specify this group of numbers, I do not need to use colon. I probably can use B7, okay, and then I should be able to cover from here to here, okay, and I would like to set the total to 0 because this is 0.0, making sure that this is double. And one more time, tell you a hash meaning it is not typo mistake. Okay, this is just a convention, okay, to present .0 in VBA. Sum equal to sum. Okay, so I'm going to accumulate the values, and then in the end, I would like to show the final output. And this one has to be str. Okay, so this one, when we add it in, and this is number, and I think this should be CDBL. Okay, and because this one's double, okay, double, and we have another double value added together, so final result is stored updated here, and when we print this output, okay, and the output should be there. Okay, so this is final output. I think that's correct. Okay, 5, 10, 12, 15. Okay, 15. Okay, so that's it. And so in other words, we can actually do anything we want to do. Okay, even though you would like to highlight the number. Okay, highlight the number. That's fine. Okay. If these values. If the value is greater than 3, then, and if okay, I wonder whether we can actually do something like this, okay? So dot interior, dot color, VB green, perhaps. Done. Okay. Oh, you see that? I think I try to confuse you, right? So James, you select this one, and how come for each loop actually presenting this one? Okay. So forget about the selections. Okay, we are not using selections, so that's why this program has nothing to do with whatever I have selected. Okay. It just focuses on the given range object B3 to B7, and then process it. Calculate the total. At the same time, just insert the if then else to compare the values. If the values is greater than 3, we highlight it in change the background color to green. I think it's more or less the same, okay, as before. Okay, before that we didn't use for each loop, okay, to process the formatting styles of the data cells, okay. And we can simply apply all whatever we have learned, okay? Changing the background, color, font style, okay? Font size, and so on, and you can do anything you want. As long as you extract the corresponding range object and you can apply the formatting style or other thing, okay, to achieve your task. Okay, so that's it. Okay? This is a simple for each loop. Okay, so this is our number 1, version 1. As I mentioned many times, okay, so once we have done the program, okay, so that is not the end of your programming task, okay. The next task will be further enhancements. Is there anything that you're not happy, you want to make change, okay? You want to make it a better program, okay? So that could be the version 2, version 3, and so on, okay? I have a concern here. This one, I'm not happy about this one, okay? Because I think I also mentioned many times, okay? So the given data set is here, but in the future, the user may add more items, okay? They may add more numbers, okay, values, okay, into the record, okay? So, and my program should be able to handle the updated transactions or records. Okay, let me delete the background color. I'm not going to change the background color, okay? So my questions, okay, with the first version is, I think my program can only focus on B3 to B7, but with the added transactions, and my program will not be handle the added transactions values, okay, or records. So that's why I have a concern. I would like to modify my program, version 2, to make it more flexible, okay, make it more flexible in order to handle dynamic data set, okay? So how to do this? How to do this? So, my idea is, okay, so if I have added values, so why don't we ask the user, hey, user, please, I don't care how many records, how many transactions you have, please select all the records that you would like my program to process, okay? And my program it is simple now, okay? So I can just put selections, because that's my assumption, isn't it, right? Assumption is, user, when you use my application, please do not just run the program, okay? Select the data set first before running the program. Okay, so I have a version 2 now. Done. Version 2, done. Okay? And, but I think this is not user-friendly. We emphasize on the user-friendliness, okay, when we build a business application. This is not very user-friendly because the user need to do one additional steps in order to use the application. So, I probably would like to go for the version 3 now. Version 3. Okay, so I think the problems in the version 2 is selections. Okay, that require the human interactions, and this is no good. So how can we automate this process? How can we automate this process? Well, that's difficult. How can we tell in the futures how many data, how many records will be added by the user? How can we tell? Okay, we don't have the answer. We don't have the informations. Okay, even if you ask the user, okay, they don't know. Okay, so I think we need to have some kind of mechanism. Okay, in order to count the number. Okay, somehow find a way to count the number. How many records are there? Okay, and then I can actually modify the program in order to handle those the dynamic data. Okay, so last time I think we tried this one. Okay, last time we tried this one. Last time we didn't try that one. In fact, this one is well, James, very long. Okay, it's not that long. Okay, but I can explain to you one more time. So what we're trying to do here is, I would like to examine this one. I would like to examine this one. What this is all about. Okay, so I think I have put up this one to my website. Okay, go to the website. Perhaps I can copy this one. Copy the whole thing. Sorry, copy the with an N with. So what we got here is a statement, okay, expressions. Okay, it's an expressions. And to understand this expression, I think I can present it in this way. I'm going to remove it with an N with. How can I remove it with an N with to understand this logic, okay, understand this expression, okay? With an N with, we only apply this one, okay, range C4, to the expressions, okay, when you see a dot, okay, when you see your expression begin with a dot, then you just add the range C4 into the expressions. So, but this one is rather long, okay, so that's why the developer would like to simplify the expressions, okay, so like this, okay, but now I want to understand what's going on, so that's why I have to put it in a single line, okay, so this is what we got here. Okay, this is what we got. But I think I would like to examine this one first. If I can understand the meaning of this one, I should be able to answer the question. What does it do in the first in the expressions here? Okay, so I need to understand this. Okay, so in order to understand this, I need to refresh your memory. Okay, and just now we have learned again. Okay, we have learned this. Okay, remember there's a comma in between. The comma is not part of the string data. Okay, it's not part of the string data. If you have a string data, okay, it should be like this. Okay, I have two string data. Okay, if you still remember, just now I demonstrate. I could specify B3, B9, okay, B3, B9 into the expressions, okay, so that one should be B3, B9, okay? And with this one, and we tried it last time, in fact, we don't have to put the string data, we could put the range objects to represent it. The first one, the next one. If you do this, it's the same, okay, it's the same as the range B3 to B9, okay, it's the same. So where we are, okay, we are here, sorry. Okay, now I know, okay, so, well, basically this doesn't make any difference, okay, from the version 2, we still need to hard code this one, we still need to hard code this one, okay, and my idea is it possible to predict this one, okay, or maybe determine this one, okay? If I can determine this one, I think this one can be fixed at the B3 starting point, okay? If I can predict this one, determine this one, okay, using my VBA programs, okay, I think I can solve the problems, okay? So how can we find the B9? How can we find B9? Let me copy this one more time. If I know where it starts, B3, okay, starting on B3, could you go to the end of the data? Okay, and then you need to specify the direction, right, up, down, to right, to left, okay, they are different, slightly different, okay, so spelling, the keywords are different, okay, so that's why I need to be very careful, okay, so from the B3, I would like to go all the way down, so you use XL down, until the last one and we stop. Okay, until the last one we stop. Okay, and then that is B9. Okay, so this is equivalent. This is equivalent. So instead of putting B9, okay, I have an equivalent expressions. Okay, and then it will tell me, okay, where it stops. Okay, where it stops. Okay, because this is an empty cell. Okay, so if this is empty cell, I can use this Excel and Excel down to determine this one. But if your transaction has something like this, okay, by mistake, okay, I think sometimes ago I already explained to you, if you have a table, a record, okay, 2D data, some data could be missing data. Okay, some data could be missing data. In my program, okay, if you use this one, B3 until the end, okay, I'll stop here. Okay, but this one, I want the program to process all this. But it just happened that this is a missing data. Okay, so that's why in the past, okay, in the lectures I said that find the column which cannot be missing data. For example, the timestamp column. For example, the product's ID column. Something unique, okay? And you don't have any empty data in the column, then you can use this one, okay, to determine how many records you have. Okay, so this is a downside. Okay, be careful when you use the Excel down, and make sure there's no empty cell. Okay, in between, because the program will stop at that point. Okay. Now I have this one. Okay, so what is this then? Okay, it means that it goes from here to here. Okay, a group of data. Okay, a group of data. Okay, so group of data. But this one, if you take a look at it closely, okay, so this is just one part, just another part, and outside is still a range object. So in the end, we have a range object. And if we have a range object, you can count the number of individuals range objects. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's why we have 7. Counting number, I think is good. Okay, if you would like to use it for next loop for the implementation. But I'm not using for next loop. I'm using for each loop. And this is what I recommend and highly recommend. Okay, use for each loop whenever possible. For next loop is different. Okay, so okay, so let me take a look at version 2. Version 2 we use selections. So now I'm thinking whether we can replace the selection with this one. Okay, probably I can. Okay, let me modify this one. Okay, so this one I'm not going to use dot count. Dot count meaning counting number. Okay, yeah, I don't care. Okay, I want to make selections on behalf of the user. Done. This group of data cell make selections. So this one, wow, we can make selections easily. Okay, so let me try this one more time. Hey, what if there's a missing data? Okay, make sure you unselect it. Okay, run it again. Yeah, we have just selected this 4 only. The rest will not be executed, will not be processed for each loop. Okay? So anyway, so that's something to do with the data. Well, what if the user actually make mistake? Okay, nothing we can do about it. Okay, how can we predict what's the missing values? Okay, so that's why we, as a developers, will focus on this one, making sure that our program can handle dynamic data. Okay. So let me put this back into my programs now, okay? And of course, you can do the reverse process, okay? Can we use with an env? Of course you can, but I think I want to try this one first. If it works, then I can have further enhancements on that particular versions. Okay, so this one can make sure that we can have selections, okay? So this is version 3. Before anything, okay, well, it is a little bit long. I just put this back to the version 3 and then just run the program. I think that should be correct, okay? So program works, the data set has been selected, output, change the background color to green, okay? I think this is what we expected. Should be the same as version 2, but this time we make selections through the programs, okay? Sometimes I need to be picky, okay, because I have seen so many business applications. So after running your program, you select all this. Okay, does it mean that you want the user to do something? Okay, no. This is just part of my program, making a selection. So that's why usually after that, okay, so go to 1. Okay, so in other words, after running the program, back to normal. Back to normal. Okay, so because if you select a group of data, okay, so the user thinking whether is there anything that we need to do about it? Because before running a program, my data cell is somewhere, okay, somewhere there. But after running a program, you make selections, okay. Does it mean that I made a mistake or anything that I need to do after that? Okay, so that's why we need to go back, okay, to a particular data cell. Okay, a better approach could be, hey, before running the program, please remember where is the active cell. Okay, then after running the program, go back to that data cell. Okay, so from the user point of view, okay, they probably don't see anything. Okay, so nothing changed. Okay, I only see the results. Okay, and nothing have been selected. Okay, by the program. So this is the version 3. And of course, if you ask, okay, is there a version 4? Okay, well, there are many further enhancements that you can think of, you can implement. User with an end width, maybe you can try that one. Okay, we may try that one. Okay, take reference with this one. Let me make version 4. Okay, so I'm thinking to present this one. Okay, maybe I think maybe I put here. It will be easier for me to explain. Okay, so this is what I would like to implement. But I need to use this with an end width. Okay. And so this is an original statement, okay? So you can see the range B3, B3 are there, and I would like to use the with an end width to replace this, okay? And copy the whole thing, put it inside, okay? And when you see B3, remove them. But sometimes you have to be very careful. Okay, let me remove the second one first. The second one is fine, okay, because a dot is here, okay. For me to understand the logic is I plug this in front of the dot, okay. But if I remove this one directly, okay, I don't see the dot actually. I don't see the dot. Oh, is it? I don't see the dot. Okay, so that's why. Yeah, this could be a problem. This could be a problem that the VBA doesn't know. This one need to be put it here, place it here. Okay, so that's why. So something we can do about it, okay, by using dot offset. Offset, you need to provide two numbers. Okay, from B3. Where you want to go by setting up the offset values. I don't want to go anywhere, okay? I don't want to go anywhere. I want to stay the same cell. So the offset value will be 0, 0. Okay, now you could remove the B3 comfortably, okay? And you can remove this one, okay, without any problem. Just like that, okay? So I think this one, yeah, this is that. That's it. Okay, so let me copy that, put it back to my program. Make sure indentations must be there. Okay, this is version 4. Let me double check whether the program works. Yes, still 28. Still 28. Okay, done. So we have many different versions. Okay, so sometimes students they see their assignment, okay, scores. Okay, hey James, you know my program is the same as my friend's programs, okay? And how come that our marks are different, okay? The one that with a better implementations, okay, deserve higher marks, okay? So that's why in this course, knowing programming certainly is important, okay? Understanding how to enhance their programs, okay? Further enhancements, okay? Also part of the grading criteria, okay? So now you have to know, okay, how can we enhance our programs, okay? And one way, of course, attend all the lectures, okay, to get to know all the knowledge and so on. Another thing, probably ChatGPT, okay? A downside of using ChatGPT is, okay, it can give you the program, okay? It can give you the program, but you have to give detailed instructions, okay? Hey, with the version 1, okay, please use the selections, okay? Please make selection using .n, Excel down, okay, things like that. And please make sure you use it with an n width, something like that. It will give you a program in return, but you need to double check. Make sure you double check, okay? Make sure the program generated by ChatGPT or whatever tools that you use, okay? It is this logic that you would like to implement, okay? And certainly, an easy way, another way that you would like to use ChatGPT is add comments. Add comments to their programs, okay? And also, once again, double check the comments, whether this is meaningful, this is what you want to have, and so on, okay? So this version 4, so back to the PowerPoint slides, okay, so I think I have explained this one. We can count the number of data, okay? And as I mentioned earlier, this part will be useful for your implementation or for next loop, But if you're interested in the making a selection using for each loop, then you'll be using this one. Okay, you'll be using this one, okay, for the implementations. Okay, since I have just mentioned this one, perhaps I should draw your attention to another thing. Okay, so go to the VBA basics. Okay, go to the website. Okay, long time ago I put up this, upload the course material. One part of it is a range. Okay, go to range, and then you go to the go to last row. Go to the PDF. Okay, go to the PDF and you find this one. In fact, if you want to try this one, you can just download the Excel file and you can run this program. But one thing that I would like to highlight here is, hey, what is that? It doesn't look the same as what I just presented. Okay, and what is it? Perhaps I would like to make it version 5. Okay, version 5. Okay, so this one I'm going to introduce how to determine the last row. How to determine the last row. So that's why this is version 5. Okay, I need to come up with a new variables, last row. Last row is long data type. Okay, row number always long data type. Okay. How to determine the last row? So take reference to the expression that I presented here. Okay. Range objects. Range object, go to column C. I'm not sure whether it is column C in my case. My case is column B. Okay, my case is column B, so I use column B. Okay, so let me take a look. Okay, column B, rows count. Okay, so What does it mean? It go to the last row in column B. So where is it? It is, you just select it, select one of the data cell in column B and control down arrow. Oh, one more time. This is the one. Go to the last one and stop there. Okay, so why we want to go there? Because we prepare for the next step. And XL up. So in other words, we're starting from this location and go all the way up to determine the last row. XL up, okay, and then dot row. Dot row, it will give you the row number. Number 9. Okay, so the last transactions record, okay, is in. I can do it manually, I think. Okay, so once you are in the bottom, the last one, okay, so you hold down the control key and up arrow. This is the one. You hit the last values and you are in the row number 9. So same as this one. We just simulate the human, the interactions, okay, the operations. But now I present this one, okay. You specify where to start. Okay? So this one give me number 9. So this is last row. So this one give me last row, okay? Can I determine the first row? Oh, just in case someone, okay, prefer this way, okay? Hey, James, I think I can do this one. You get too much trouble. Create every single variable with a new line. Okay, this is too much. Okay, no, this one, do not use this one. Do not declare more than one variables on the same line. Okay, because they are not the same. They are not the same. Okay, so I prefer you do it in 2 different lines. Okay. If you put 2 variables, 3 variables on the same line, some of them are not long data type. Okay, so that's why they are not the same. Okay, so I think probably if you have learned other programming languages that you need to declare the variable, I think they should be the same data type, but not VBA. Okay, VBA will not give you the same data type. But anyway, first row, last row. Okay, so where's the first row then? So now I have presented so many things, right? So I think it's too much for you guys, okay? And now I don't tell you, okay? You tell me how to determine the first row. Write the program. Apply what you have learned in today's lectures, okay? And you should be able to determine the first row. The first row in column B, of course. The first row should be B3, right? I think I'm talking about the row number. So it's not B3. The output is 3. Okay? Same as the last row. The last row is 9. To make it a more proper way, C long. How to determine the first row. Once again, understand what I present in the lectures. No, that's not enough. Okay, you have to practice. Okay, so so what should we do? How about the girl? What should we do? Any particular keywords that you can think of? Good, 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 good. Okay, so well, just use what we have learned in today's lectures. Okay, and so if we can go all the way down and go up, and why don't we go to the first one and go down? Okay, the same logic, isn't it? Right? Go all the way up. Okay, I think this is B1. Okay, XL down. Okay, well, verify this before we actually use it. Okay. Oh, 3. B3. Okay? Yeah, that's good. B3. So, how can we incorporate this last row, first row into the expressions? In fact, let me see. Okay, this is version 5. I think we have hard-coded this one. Perhaps we can actually incorporate the first row into these expressions. Okay, instead of using the fixed values, okay, I would like to change this one. Okay, let me do it in a logical way. Okay, so B3 string data, we could split it into 2 parts. Is that okay? B3 we can split it into 2 characters. Okay. And this one can be replaced by first row. But remember, this has to be string data. So in other words, I have to put CSTR to convert this. I think that's it. Okay? In this case, I don't need to use last row. Okay? If eventually you figure out we don't need it, okay, delete it. Okay, but this one is good demonstrations. Okay, last row, first row, you can determine them by using VBA, and up to you whether you want to use it. And in some cases, we may need to use the last row and first row when we implement the program using for next loop. Okay, using for next loop. Then we will be using last row and first row. Okay, I think up to this point, this is version 5. Okay, that's it. Done. Yeah, 28, still the same result. Okay? You have having given you a lot of versions, okay, but I have not finished my lecture materials. Okay, so this is no good. So okay, let's go back to the illustrations, okay? So spending 15 minutes, okay, to talk about revisions. Okay, so let's take a look at the illustrations, what we're supposed to do. And I have uploaded the 2 Excel files. I think last time we did not actually, I have not uploaded this one, okay, but now this one is available. And I think the Canvas, okay, Anson, you upload this one to Canvas as well. It should be available in the share folder, okay?
That should be uploaded.
Okay. So this one, basically we have Excel files like this, okay? So we're going to calculate, I think this is library systems. Charging the late returns items, something like that, okay? So we have a lot of formulas, okay? If this is late for the first 5 days, we charge 1.4. After 5 days, we charge 2.3 for every single day, additional date. Okay, and then we add up all these numbers, okay, number of days actually given here, and we try to make do the calculations to calculate some charges and finally calculate the total. Okay, so this is the idea, okay, the business logics with these examples. I have presented you the template, okay, so this is a logical approach. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 steps. Okay, 4 steps to actually, if you can finish this 4 steps, then you should be able to complete the program. And I should have upload this one is the March 7 for each loop. Okay, so this is the template. Okay, and so I give you a little bit. Well, this is the model answer. Okay, so go and download the Excel file first. Okay, the Excel file is library systems loop. Download it and open it. Let me save this one first, just in case someone asks me for the copy. Okay, let me open the Excel file. Okay, once you have opened the Excel files, go to the VB editor. I only provide you the template, but in fact I also provide you the model answer in the website. Select. Okay, so you can do it with a simple way. Okay, simple selections. Okay, like this. Making the selections. Okay, we prefer something more dynamic. Instead of just putting C2 colon C6. Okay, like this. Okay, this is not acceptable. Okay, because if you do that, and it cannot handle dynamic data. So we have to make it more generic. Okay. So can actually select the additional data or maybe dynamic data within that area. Okay, I demonstrated this one just now. Okay, but this time we used B2. Okay, to begin with, and calculate the subtotal using for each loop selections. Okay, I think the approach will be something like this. For each loop in this one, and next. I try to copy here from here, but I try to show you the steps. Okay, so once you have made a selections, okay, this one is a selections, and of course in the video, this one, the first underline is a name, the name to store the extracted range objects. So up to you what you want to use. In my example, I use my range. My range is a range object, so I would like to create a range objects here. And of course, this is not ideal. Okay, this is not ideal. I prefer all the theme statements to be at the top. Okay, but for now, this is demonstrations. Okay, I put it together so you get to know. Okay, we need to create the objects. Okay, the object variables. And then, so calculate the subtotal using for each loop selection. I just did that. Need to use if then else. Okay, if then else. Okay, so I guess we need to put if then else and also and if in the program. Okay, I need to make some kind of decisions. And according to the logic here, so based on this one, B2, okay, until the last one. So let me double check the Excel files. Oh, I see. Yeah, B2 is very important, right? Because those are the book titles, okay, and cannot be missing values, okay. And so based on B2, could you go and get the number of days? We can go and get the number of days by using offset. Offset 01. okay, go to the offset 01, and compare with this one. Compare with C11. C11 is here. C11, this one. Is a number greater than 5 or equal to 5? Okay, so I need to put down this one. If true, if it is true, less than equal to 5 days, okay, the charges will be the D11 is this price, okay, the price is D11. Multiplied by the number of days, which is in column C. Okay, column C, but of course we use the offset to indicate this. In row number 2, okay, could you go to the offset values to get the total number of days, which is 0, 1. Multiply the price and the number of days, and we get the total, which is the subtotal. Okay, where you put the subtotal? I put the subtotal here in column E. But we reference to B2, so offset CO1, CO2, CO3. Okay, CO3 will give us the destinations. So this is how we calculate the subtotal when the number of days less than 5, less than equal to 5. Otherwise, the calculations becomes a little bit complicated, but we store the result in the same locations, which is CO3. Okay, so how to do the calculations? Okay, and this time we get the number from D12. Okay, I think I just simply copy this one. Yeah, you should know how to interpret this one. Okay, so the logic is like this. Okay, so charge the first 5 days at that price. The remaining number of days we charge another price. Add the two total together and find the subtotal and put into the in the corresponding columns. Okay, corresponding data sets. Okay, so that's why eventually we start the. Let me do it this way. We started from here, B2. We will collect the data from this offset CO1, okay, and offset CO3, which is this one, okay. After calculation, okay, and then we write the result to offset CO3. So we apply this for all other books, okay. So we do it one by one until the last one, and we stop. Okay, so this is logic, okay, not very difficult to understand. So once we have done this one, so we probably need to go to the step 3. Calculate the total. Oh, calculate the total, I think this one, okay, I think this is 162. And to do this, okay, suggestion, no, not suggestion, okay, this is requirements, okay, you have to use for each loop selection, okay, so just copy the templates one more time for each something in selections, okay, because this is a requirement. Next, okay, and so in order to calculate the subtotal, in order to calculate the total, I think we need to select this. Okay, I need to select this one, okay, but of course, a simple way, okay, a simple way is to make the selections from range E2 to E6. Okay, so that should be able to that we can actually select the data set, but I think we prefer the dynamic way. Okay, we prefer the dynamic way. Okay, so you have to figure out how to use an Excel down. Okay, from B2 until the last one. Okay, and we need to do this. And replace this one. And since we have already created my range variables, okay, the object variable, so why don't we just reuse it? So it can extract the data one by one from B2 to B6. Okay? And then, so we just calculate the total. Okay, calculate the total. I need to create one more. Total charges. Okay, so total charges is here. So with this one, I need to calculate this total charges. Total charges equal to total charges plus the data cell, the range objects. And this one, I would like to collect the data directly from E2 to E6. So I don't need to do anything except that probably you would like to put I use CO3. Sorry, I gave you a wrong explanations. Okay, just now I make a selection. Okay, it's not column E. I did not make selection to column E. I make selection to column B actually. So that's why when we get the subcharges, okay, so it should be offset 03. Okay? So let me ask you a question. Okay, what's wrong if I make a selection on column E? What's wrong with that? Any potential problem that you can think of? If I do this, if I don't use B2, okay, I use E2 instead. What could be the problem? Pardon? I have covered that. Okay. Yeah. So I think XL down. Okay. What is XL down? XL down meaning from here until the last one, isn't it? Okay. Until the last one. Oh, but if you have already print out the total, the last subcharges will be here. Okay. So that is a mistake. So do not use the column E to make selection, because if you make a selection, it will be incorrect. If you may cover this one as well. You may cover this one as well. So do not use column E. You use column B, much safer. There should be no additional book title, isn't it? If there is, okay, then we need to do calculation. Okay, so that's why this one, okay, you should use the column B and should not use column E. If you make, let's say, let's try, let me show you. If you use column E, what happened? Number one, we expect to select from E2 to E6, isn't it? Right? Because those subcharges are there. But now you cover this one as well. Okay, you cover this one if you use column E, E2. Okay, so this is incorrect. But you may argue, okay, hey James, before calculations, there should be no values. Okay, if there's no values, so it's the same. Yes, but remember the program can be, you're going to rerun the program, reuse the program. So after calculating the total, when you run the program again, the output will be different. Okay, so that's why, be careful. So the correct version should be B, column B, B2. Okay, so once you have done this one, then you should have okay, so once you have done this one, then you will be able to write the results. Okay, so the last one is just simple, it's just one line, okay. But the tricky point is this. The tricky point is this one, okay. The tricky point is name the range. This one relied on a named range. Okay, rely on a named range. Okay, so if you go and double check, okay, do we have a named range? Go to formulas, name manager. Oh, there is no such a name. When you run the program, if the name is not there, okay, so you will have problems. So in other words, I have to specify, I have to select E7. Go to the name box, change this one to the name that you are going to use. Okay? The name that you are going to use is total. Okay, so you can see that. Okay? So this one, the one that you use, making sure that you select this data cell and the name is the same. Okay, then you run the program, it should be no problem. Okay? So just to remind you, okay, so how to prepare this program and how you implement the logic. Okay, so a lot of things that I have covered in today's lectures for each loop, how to make selection, Excel down, Excel up, and of course I also assume that you know how to do the Excel to right, Excel to left. Okay, we haven't seen those keywords, but I think the logic is more or less the same. Okay, and so okay, so that's it. Any questions? No? Okay, so next time you do the questions, okay? Next time I give you a practice question, and you're going to apply this and answer the questions. Okay, so this is done. And another one is an interesting one. I just prepared this one 1 week ago. Okay, so this one is about pass or fail. Okay, so what's the logic? Oh, this one. I just covered this one. Okay, now it's remind you one more time. Okay, so how to do the finding the first line, last row, first row, and the data type must be long. Okay. And what we're trying to do here is I will present you a list of scores. Okay, but I don't want to see the score. I want to see whether the student actually failed the course or passed the course. Okay, so that's why instead of showing the value, I would like to see the keywords pass or fail. And this is the original data in this column. This is what I expected, okay, from the Excel. And in fact, this can be done easily with Microsoft Excel formulas. Okay, let me go back to the website. 12th of March, download Excel file first. Open it. I think not many students have tried this one approach before. Even you have been using Excel for some time, okay? Hey, James, never heard of it, never seen this before, okay? And so, give it a try, okay? So what you need to do now, okay, I have already provided you the instructions, okay? So the instructions only contain 2 steps, okay? And I think I would like you to copy this one first. Copy this one, okay, since the Excel file is already available. So copy this string, okay? Don't type, okay? So you probably make mistake, okay? Typo mistake. Copy it, okay? So what you need to do according to my steps, okay? Go and select the data. Okay, select the group of data that you would like to apply that kind of formatting to it. Okay, and then right-click, format cells. Format cells. Okay, so you can see that this format cells is right here in the pull-down menu. And this time we would like to use customs. Okay, go to this area. Okay, do not use any one of this. Okay, use something else. Okay. Now we paste the expressions that we just copied. Okay, copy that one, put it here, and confirm. Well, instead of using the actual values now, we can see pass or fail, and also together with colors. Okay, that's done by the expressions. Okay, that's done by the expressions. But I think the expression is a little bit long. We may make typo mistakes, okay, along the way. And so that's why I think it's better to use VBA to implement this. In fact, also another thing is,
the score 60 hard-coded into the expressions. But what if I want to change this one? So user, if you want to change this one, you're not going to go to the formula, go to the expression and modify it. It will be good if you can have a data set to store the passing mark. Okay, to store the passing mark. Just by changing that one, everything can be recalculated. Okay, so I think that's the idea. Okay, so I have prepared few versions. Okay, so you can see that. Version 1, done. Well, by clicking the button, you know that they are macro. They are VBA macro. Okay, so version 2, version 3, they all the same results. Okay, so how to implement this one? Okay, we'll cover that in the next lectures. And you still have 4 minutes. So I would like you to do this now. Can you see that we have the restore button? How to restore actually? Restore is I would like you to implement the restore button. Okay. In other words, you need to come up with a macro. The macro will do this. Okay. Implement restore 1. Restore 1 is a button. Okay. Something very simple. Copy data from C4 to C28 and paste the values to the E4 to E28. Do it now, and I know you don't know how to do it, so that's why use ChatGPT. Okay, use ChatGPT to see whether you can actually present a prompt and get a program from ChatGPT. Okay, then I will make comment. Okay, hey, how good the program that generated by ChatGPT is. Do it now. Okay. 3 minutes left. Okay, I'll give you 1.5 minutes. This can help you learn how to use ChatGPT. Okay, how to present your questions. Okay, as prompts. And also, once the ChatGPT gives you a program, okay, take a look, run it, test it, see if it works or not. And also another thing is, how can you assign the macro to the buttons, okay? And those things should have been taught, okay, in the lectures. Okay, ChatGPT I didn't, okay, but I assume that you know how to use it. Okay, time's up. Okay, doesn't matter. Okay, if you haven't finished, that's fine. Okay, I just let you know. Okay, something's very simple. The problem's very simple, and then you probably, I assume most of you will get this one. Okay, because ChatGPT is so powerful. Okay, you can get this one easily. But sometimes, hey James, I'm not familiar with ChatGPT. I want to write the program myself. Okay, I learned it from Google, and then I find this one. So which one I should use? Okay. Highly recommend this one. Okay, highly recommend this one. If you don't use this one, I use this one. I think they're the same. Okay, and this is not as good as this one in terms of efficiency. And if we find that, okay, we can implement the program in this way, and you present in this way. Okay, there will be marked deductions. Okay, because this is not the best. Okay, this is not the best one. Okay, this is not the best one in terms of, because I also present another keyword for the use of VBA. The shorter the better. Okay, shorter in the sense that it is more efficient. Okay, so that's why always think about these keywords. And sometimes our students find that, hey, it's very difficult. What do you mean by use of VBA, okay, I present you the table already, and from time to time, I will go to the table and tell you, okay, whether the program actually fulfill the requirements or not. Okay, so that's why attending the lectures, that's benefits of attending the lectures, okay. Okay, so that's it. Okay, so that's it for today's lectures. And next lecture, when we come back, I continue with the rest of the slides, okay. And yeah, that's it. Okay, so today's lectures has lots of things being covered, okay, in particular for each loop. Okay, so make sure you're familiar with this one and prepare yourself for the next practice sections. Okay, so that's it. Thank you very much. See you guys on Thursday.